So Lauren Chen, aka Roaming Millennial, aka Pseudo-Intellectual, recently talked about a YouTube channel called Girldefined.
Two of those people who do an amazing job talking about Christianity and the Bible are Kristen and Bethany from Girldefined.
Jaclyn Glenn was not so fond of Lauren saying this.
I really have a hard time wrapping my head around this because I do view Roaming Millennial as an intelligent person. And for someone to think that, you know, Christians have a bad rep and who am I going to bring in to help destigmatize that stereotype? Well, Girldefined. I'm just going to bring in the worst possible poster child for this and think that that's going to change people's mind.
So Lauren didn't say that she was talking about Girldefined because she thought they would help destigmatize the stereotype. Lauren said that Girldefined was good at talking about Christianity and the Bible. So why waste anyone's time attacking a claim that no one ever said? I would actually be inclined to agree with Jaclyn that Girldefined is not a channel that would get rid of Christian stereotypes. Lauren might even agree with Jaclyn on that too. I haven't watched much Girldefined. It's not really my kind of channel. Nothing against you, Girldefined. It's just if I'm watching YouTube, it's probably going to be Report of the Week. That guy slays me. But yeah, through the bits and pieces I've seen of Girldefined, it's a channel where you have to understand the context in order to know where they're coming from. For instance, here's Jaclyn's reaction to something that Girldefined said.
Light should not have partnership with darkness. When someone is an unbeliever, a non-Christian, even if they're really nice, and a lot of non-Christians are really nice, really kind, all of those things, but they don't know God.
My favorite line in that whole thing is that light should not have partnership with darkness. They are the light, they are the good, they are the pure, and I am the dark, evil, non-believer over here, and I am unworthy. I'm the darkness.
I understand how Jaclyn can hear something like that and think it sounds really stuck up. I would never word anything on this channel like that, but I'm pretty sure that Girldefined is not referring to themselves as the light in order to give themselves some kind of ego boost. Think of it this way. In Star Wars, Luke Skywalker's talking about the Force and how there's a light side and a dark side. He puts himself on the light side. He believes Darth Vader is on the dark side. You remember the scene where Vader made that video complaining about how Luke kept saying he was on the light side? Me neither. Using those labels wasn't Luke's way of saying he's better than Darth Vader. They were just two terms to describe two different sides. Light and dark is a pretty common comparison to good and evil. Luke wanted Vader to come to the light side. I'm sure that Girldefined wants everyone to come to the light side. So again, I don't talk in that very flowery kind of terminology here on this channel or in person just because that's not who I am. And I understand that when people talk like that, it can sound stuck up if you don't understand where they're coming from. But I don't think that Girldefined intends to say that they're better than anyone else with the light and dark talk. Those are just the terms that they use. Back to the main point though, to say that Dr. House is good at diagnosing medical mysteries is not the same as saying that Dr. House is a great poster child for bedside manner. They're two different topics. Lauren said they were good at teaching. She didn't say they were good at sales. Again though, I've only seen clips of Girldefined. I can't tell you whether or not they are good teachers, but I do know that's what Lauren's claim was. Might I research that and find out that they're not good teachers? Possibly, but I might also research it and find out, hey, they are pretty good teachers. So right off the bat, Jaclyn fails to address Lauren's actual claim, which seems like a simple case of just not listening. So here to tell us some positive side effects to the practice of just listening to someone else is Jaclyn Glenn.
Just listening makes us smarter, more connected people. And there's really no better place to start listening than Audible.
So I found the irony kind of entertaining here. That was a clip from the very same video where Jaclyn did not listen to what Lauren had to say. I mean, that clip was taken from a promotion that she was doing for Audible, so I don't know if they just sent over the script and she was reading it without paying attention to what it said, but not bad advice for next time, Jaclyn.
Just listening makes us smarter, more connected people.
The more you know, star. So Jaclyn Glenn made yet another video based on something that no one ever said. If you've been watching this channel for a while, then you know that Jaclyn has done that to us in the past too.
No one is using Christianity to bash gay people.
Really? No one? No one at all. Can't think of anyone that would possibly use Christianity to bash gay people. That just doesn't happen. Christians just never do that, ever, nowhere.
Again, this is an example of Jaclyn not listening to the point that is being made. The video that she pulled that little clip of me talking from had a big explanation of what that statement meant. I never said that there weren't Christians bashing gay people. I actually specifically said that there were.
I do understand that there are Christians out there who are bashing gay people.
Those type of people do exist. I don't like it. Gives Christians a bad name. It'd be great if they stopped doing that, but they do exist. The other point I was making in that video was that Christians are not using actual Christianity to support their terrible actions of bashing gay people. Some Christians pull verses from the Bible, and they claim that those verses support their terrible actions. But when you actually read the Bible correctly, you can realize that it doesn't condone Christians bashing gay people, or anyone. And people watching may say, well, that's just your interpretation. Someone else might have a different interpretation of the Bible than you. Yeah, there can be infinite interpretations of the Bible. but there's only one that's correct. So if you want to learn more about that, check out our video, Meaning versus Interpretation. The link can be found below. When I say that Christians aren't using Christianity to bash gay people, I'm not just using my interpretation of the Bible. I'm using the actual meaning of the Bible. The meaning that was attached to it from the only authorities that can actually tell you what the Bible means. And if you don't know who has the authority to tell you what the Bible means, then check out our video, The Authorities, in addition to Meaning versus Interpretation. Because both of those videos together go through how and why these authorities have the authority to tell you what the Bible means. To summarize though, imagine that I wrote a note. I made 10 copies of this, gave it to 10 people. They each take the note, they make 10 copies each, and they give away their notes. Then that continues on and on until eventually you get this note. You open it up, it says get lost. This is my teaching. So tell me, what does my teaching mean? Does it mean that I just want you to simply leave? Does it mean that I want you to literally lose your ability to know where you are? Does it mean that I want you to go out and buy the DVD box set of Lost? Does it mean something else entirely? Any of those things are possible because as with the Bible, when you're just handed text, anyone can interpret that in infinite ways. That's why some people read the Bible and they come up with these ridiculous interpretations that allow them to think, oh, it's okay to hurt people just because of who they are. But here's the thing, not every interpretation is correct. Most of them are wrong. One of them's right. So how do you know which interpretation of this note is correct? Who can tell you that? Me, the source of the note. So who can tell you the actual meaning of the Bible? The source of the Bible. God could do it. Jesus could do it. The Spirit of Truth could do it. His church can do it. And that's his one church. The one church that God's Son built and said he would guide. And if you don't believe in God or Jesus or any of that, that's not going to change what I'm saying here. You can still believe what I'm saying. Just think of it as a hypothetical. If Christians are correct, then God exists. Then what? Follow the logic off of that. Watch our series, The Basics of Believing, as well as the 2 aforementioned videos, and it's not hard to see that there is only one church that can tell you what the Bible means. Give it a shot, see if the logic adds up. Because trust me, I know people are going to watch this video and say, you can't have sources that actually know the meaning of the Bible. And the reason people think like that today is because so many Christians in the past have screwed it up so bad. Yes, Martin, I'm talking about you. Didn't know he was living behind the couch now. Interesting. But just like this can get passed around and get so many different interpretations from so many different people, the true meaning still exists. There is a source of the original text. There is a source that can tell you what the original text meant. So do the research. Now, Jaclyn also made several claims that implied that I condone the killing of people.
He's like giving the A-OK for murder here. I don't hate the gay people, okay? I just think they should be murdered is all. He's like, it's not because of who they are, it's what they do. That's why we should kill them.
You shall love your neighbor as yourself.
You should love them. You should really love them. But sometimes when you love somebody and they do something that you don't think they should be doing, sometimes you just have to kill them. I'm against this action, and now you're gonna die for it.
I never said anything close to any of that ever, and I never will, because what she's saying there is terrible. In our video, we even said the exact opposite of what Jaclyn claimed we said, multiple times.
Do I think it is terrible to kill people? Yes, I do. Christians were taught by Jesus that you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So that's great. As a Christian, I don't have to go around stoning people, killing people for things. Awesome. If the government today decided to crucify people publicly so that their death would be seen as an example to everyone, Jaclyn and I would not be okay with it.
So that was 3 separate times in the video that Jaclyn is talking about, where we specifically and very clearly stated that it is not okay for Christians to go around killing anyone. But Jaclyn made up this completely different story about our video, and she shared it with her fans, and unfortunately some of her followers are so brainwashed just to believe whatever she says, they bought it. Now, not all of her followers did the same. I'm not saying that all of her followers are brainwashed, but this is the internet. I'm sure that some of the people who follow this channel just get brainwashed into believing whatever I say, even though I tell you repeatedly, don't trust me. You can watch our original video and our response to Jaclyn in the links below. We're not gonna go through that whole thing here, but if you wanna see just how dishonest Jaclyn was, give it a look-see. Who still says look-see? I do think it's worth noting that Jaclyn said she was planning on responding to our other videos.
I'm totally planning on making more videos going over this guy's videos in the future.
Jaclyn made that claim prior to our response to her. My guess is she saw our response video, realized she can't beat the facts and the logic, and she stayed away. Smart move. The facts will always destroy Jaclyn's false claims, and anyone's false claims. Even if I make a false claim, the facts are gonna prove me wrong. So why am I digging up this old issue? Because since wrongfully accusing us of saying terrible things, Jaclyn has gone on to say things like this.
The media, in particular Wall Street Journal, is exaggerating PewDiePie and taking him out of context. Don't label someone a racist or an anti-Semite if you don't really know what they're thinking or how they feel.
So Jaclyn made a video where she got upset because someone called PewDiePie a racist when PewDiePie wasn't really being racist. It would be like if Jaclyn called somebody homophobic when they weren't really homophobic at all. It would be like if Jaclyn said that someone hated certain people when that someone didn't hate that group of people at all. It would be like if Jaclyn said that someone condoned harming a certain group of people when that someone didn't condone that at all. So Jaclyn Glenn seems to have no problem telling people falsehoods about us, but if someone does the same thing that Jaclyn does to someone else, Jaclyn gets all bent out of shape. Some people might refer to a person who behaves in this type of way as a hypocrite, but that's only because that's exactly how hypocrites operate. Jaclyn goes on to say,
It just kind of scares me since I am a controversial YouTuber, and I could very easily one day be edited out of context in a way that is very damaging. And the fact that people can get away with this and then it can actually negatively affect someone whenever the evidence is so plainly clear that that's not what their intent was just baffles me.
So Jaclyn just described almost exactly what she did to us. I wouldn't say that she edited us out of context because she didn't even take anything we said. She played clips of us and then she said totally different things that we never said.
You shall love your neighbor as yourself.
You should love them. You should really love them. But sometimes when you love somebody and they do something that you don't think they should be doing, sometimes you just have to kill them.
But the outcome is the same. When Jaclyn Glenn made up her false version of our video, people were negatively affected.
And the fact that people can get away with this and then it can actually negatively affect someone.
Jaclyn Glenn's decision to make up that hateful pro-murder message and then apply it to us was damaging to people.
And I could very easily one day be edited out of context in a way that is very damaging.
Now, I'm not saying that what she did was damaging to us. We actually gained a lot of subscribers from the whole thing. People came to the channel, they watched our videos, they liked how we focused on facts and logic and cut out all the other crap, and they subscribed. No complaints on that. But a lot of people who Jaclyn will make claims that she cares about did get hurt. We disabled the comment section on our other Jaclyn videos because a lot of Jaclyn's followers are just coming to our channel after blindly listening to what she said. They weren't actually looking into what we actually said, and then they would leave comments based on that. A lot of mean things, a lot of hateful things, some violent things. And I don't see that as Jaclyn's typical audience. I'm guessing Jaclyn has normal people in her audience who wouldn't write that kind of stuff. So thank you to those people. Again, it's the internet. I'm sure there's people who watch this channel who are also just as obnoxious. But the worst part was we also got comments from people who said they were gay, and they said that when they heard what we said from Jaclyn's video, it made them feel terrible about who they were. Imagine having a fine, normal day, and then you go to watch your favorite YouTuber, Jaclyn Glenn, and she tells you about this person out there who hates you and is okay with someone killing you. That could ruin your day, and it did ruin some people's days. People who trusted Jaclyn at her word didn't look up what we had to say, assumed she was telling them the truth, and then they told us how sad they were. But it was actually Jaclyn who was the source of all of those terrible things, not us. And all the while, Jaclyn claims to care about helping the gay community. That's a really weird way to help them. Tell them there's a monster somewhere when there's not really a monster there. I mean, let's not be naive. There are monsters like that who do exist, but they're not here. They're not at this channel. They're not at Girldefined. They're not on Lauren Chen's channel. I mean, imagine you had a kid and that kid's going to bed. They had a great day. They're all tucked in now, just thinking about all the wonderful things that happened. And then you walk into the room and you're just like, hey, good night. Oh, by the way, there's a murderous clown under the bed. You sleep tight. Then you leave. Why would you tell someone that you claim to care about that there's this terrible thing out there when that terrible thing doesn't really exist? That's a question Jaclyn has to answer. I have no idea why she would take a video where the message of the entire video was to love everyone, don't kill anyone. She completely hid that message. She made up this whole new hateful message about killing people. Fortunately, when we do get those comments from people who say, like, this really upset me, we just say, hey, check out the actual video, get back to us if you still have a problem. Then they're able to see that, all right, that's definitely different than what Jaclyn was saying. So to Jaclyn Glenn, if you're watching this, if you're going to claim to be an ally to gay people, don't create the problem and then pretend to be a martyr coming to fix it. When you make up these ridiculous falsehoods about people who hate other people, you're part of the problem. Yes, there are people out there who hate other people, but they're not here. We would very much appreciate it if you would remove your slanderous video from YouTube because it is hurtful to people, it is clearly false, and it is negatively affecting people that you claim to actually care about. Before you delete it, you can even do a search on your video for the comment that we left on there. Attached to our comment is an example of what I'm talking about here. There was a girl named Brianna who posted, she was a lesbian, and she talked about how sad it made her to hear what you had to say we were saying. None of us here at How to Be Christian apologize for upsetting her because we're not the ones who said the things that upset her. That'll be you, Jaclyn. So maybe think about starting there and apologizing to people like Brianna. Now, I don't doubt that Jaclyn Glenn actually wants to help out the gay community. I'm sure she does. But making up monsters where there are none is not the way to do it. Everyone here at How to Be Christian, Lauren Chen, Girldefined, we care about people. We care about all people. We don't want anyone to be harmed in any way. We want everyone to be loved. My guess is that Jaclyn Glenn feels the same exact way. But as long as she keeps her video posted, she's not doing all that she could do to help out the gay community. Jaclyn Glenn's video in which she creates this message of hatred and applies it to us is not helping gay people. We're still having people come to our channel after watching Jaclyn's video, not watching what we actually had to say, and then commenting with anger, sadness, wishes of harm, all because of a fake message that Jaclyn put out there. I seriously don't understand how Jaclyn can do this kind of thing to a community she claims to care about. Because I think she really does care about the gay community. But she keeps going after people who love all people and don't want harm to happen to anyone, when she could be focusing on people out there who actually are terrible people. I mean, watch our video about Ellen Page, also linked in the description. There is a Christian guy out there who has a very messed up interpretation of the Bible, and he actually does hate people. And he says a lot of terrible things. Why not talk about people who are actually spreading the message of hate that you're applying to other people? Because even though I'm a Christian and you're an atheist, we can stand side by side and say, hey, that Christian over there, they're nuts. Neither of us condone that guy's message.
I know a lot of people who are gay that are also religious, and it breaks my heart to think that they might stumble upon this YouTube channel, this article.
Even though Jaclyn makes these claims that she cares about helping the gay community, she is still part of the problem. She says she cares, but talk is pretty cheap. Her actions do not all line up with what she's saying. If she deletes her slanderous video, that's a start. If she apologizes to people like Brianna, who she hurt by spreading her false message of hate, that's even better. And to be clear, I have no problem with Jaclyn Glenn. We're both YouTubers, we both enjoy comedy. She thinks I'm funny.
Oh my god, he's so funny, you guys. Isn't he funny?
Alright, so that was probably sarcasm. But yeah, we're both people. I respect her opinions. The thing I don't like though, no matter who does it, is when people claim that someone else said something that they never said. And that's pretty much what we're looking at here on How to Be Christian all the time. We look at people who claim that the Bible says certain things or doesn't say certain things, and then we look and see if the Bible actually says or doesn't say those things. So if you enjoy that type of thing, subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you get notifications anytime new videos are uploaded. Also like the video and comment below. Let us know if you know of any other situations where a person's lie actually ended up hurting the community that they claim to care about. Until next time, this is How to Be Christian. Now get lost. That's actually not the true meaning of this text. I wrote this because my one teaching, as it always is to get the DVD box set of Lost. It is an awesome show. If you've seen it before, if you didn't like the ending, you're wrong, but that's okay. We still love you. Get lost, and have a great day.